Join our staff and leaders of our church as we journey through topics that inform, engage, and inspire the daily life of our church.
Welcome to the Roundtable at Pulaski Heights United Methodist Church, a podcast of discussions with substance. I'm Michael McMurray, and I'm one of the staff members here at Pulaski Heights, along with some of my colleagues.
And I'm John Robbins, one of the pastors on staff.
I'm Kathleen McMurray, pastor of Connecting Ministries and Worship.
I'm Jay Clark, one of the pastors on staff.
So today we're going to talk about 2022, kind of our year in review, how things went. And so I guess we've done a lot of the church this year in 2022. What are you guys most proud of?
Well, I think we have a whole lot to be proud of. I think we've accomplished a great deal. I think there are certain things for me that stand out, and one of them is, among many, the elimination of our debt. And, you know, anytime a church has debt, a percentage of income that comes in has to be directed toward interest and principal payments, and to be able to have a congregation that was generous during the season of Lent to pay off our debt, paid in full. It was a great blessing because it affords us a chance to do some other things with that money to benefit more people. So that is one of the great benefits of being in a church right now that is debt-free. How long that lasts, we don't know, because at some point, somewhere along the way, something will have to happen to maintain the facilities and everything else. But I think that's one of the highlights of the year.
Part of my joys in ministry, one of my joys in ministry is getting to welcome new people into the life of the church. And we have had so many people, I think like 170, 180 new members this year. And just the people that have found a home here, the people that have been disenfranchised from their church or from other churches, the people that have found a home, and more importantly have found Christ and experience Jesus' life-changing power through our church. And so for me, that's something that I'm really proud of. All of our ministries that welcome, and all of the people that are so welcoming and inviting, that's something I'm really proud of.
I think for me, we have seen a turning point this year, and we harped on the congregation for 2 years, for a year really, after we started back from the pandemic, and we're starting to see more of our people come back. And I mean, there's still a lot that can be done. But to see some people that took a break or were scared of the pandemic, starting to come back and get involved, and just looking at new ministries, one of the things that I said in the service this week was that we're looking at making our current ministries better and starting new ministries in 2023. So. I think that we're set up to do that really well.
I think, too, one of the things, it's not necessarily a highlight, but it's a reality, but I think it's we've done real well with that, is we had several key positions where individuals retired, and we've had to work hard to fill those slots, and I think we've done that really well. We had quality people in those positions who made a decision that it was time to do something else with life, and left us with the responsibility of replacing them, and I feel really, really good about the staff that we've built in the meantime.
Yeah, I think my favorite part is our app. With our Connect campus has over 50 members.
Yes.
And this is just another way that we can connect with each other, and that our members and even just our community can connect with the life of the church. And I'm excited that as we expand it, to see what else it can it can do, and really how we can really harness it. So also, shameless plug, download our church app if you haven't already.
Well, and I just think media ministries in general, we've increased our capacity to do so much over the course of the last year, and just continue to be able to do that. That's certainly one of the highlights, reaching that many more people in a variety of ways.
I mean, so many of the people that I talk to who have become part of the life of our church, a number of them, saw videos that we did on YouTube, or somebody shared something on Facebook and they're like, oh my gosh, I really love what Dr. Robbins said in that sermon, or that music was really powerful, or that discussion in the Roundtable was really amazing. And so that is a tool that is used for bringing people into the life of the church. And even my grandmother attends in person when she's able to, and but I showed her the church app and I said, it's going to be so much easier to find the videos each week. You just click here and then it'll be right there. And she was very thankful for that. So I think for folks of all ages, that can be a really great way to connect with our church.
I think people just keep going back again and again to watch you eat chicken wings.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
I noticed that was on there.
No.
I noticed that was on there.
No.
And there needed to be some kind of recognition of my achievement as the winner, which was sorely missed by thousands of people. I got emails by the thousands.
And I would encourage everyone to go back and watch your Jeopardy failures.
That's right.
Cataclysmic failures.
As long as they're football questions.
I think it really does go to show, though, how, even with our app, with our Roku app and our Apple TV app, like, you can just click on it on your TV. Mm-hmm. And, I'm excited for all the video content that we're going to be able to think up and dream of and just be able to put out.
Well, and like Dr. Robbins was saying, we have such a talented staff, and a lot of our staff write their own curriculum. And, the fact that, like, this curriculum and stuff can be more readily available for all of our members and our community, I think it's really exciting.
Yeah.
I would just say one other thing that I think is pretty significant in 2022 is the role Pulaski Heights has played in terms of being a safe haven, if you will, for people whose churches may have gone through division or breakup, whatever it may be, and that there are a lot of people who have felt a sense of comfort in our worship services, or our staff going to their respective churches and preaching, or just having a chance to interact with people. And that's a big deal. And for us to be able to kind of take the lead on that, because we have the capacity to do things a lot of other churches can't do, I think that's been significant for us in our role as a leading church in the state of Arkansas.
Absolutely.
For sure. So what is something that the general public may not know about, but we've done in 2022, maybe behind the scenes, that y'all are very excited about, proud of, or just want to share and give recognition? Because I think for me, my biggest thing is Patrick and Jacob have been working very diligently. They pulled over like 70 or 10,000 feet of cable to expand all of our stuff for IT and production and
Our
security.
stuff.
All of our stuff. But I think, and our production studio where we're filming this is, another thing that came out, and it allowed us to have different sets. And it's one of the coolest technological things, I think, for me, having that kind of on the back end.
To me, it's just, I don't know if this is any secret, but I think it's just the daily work that goes into the work that's done. When we do something, there's a tremendous amount of effort that's put into it before, if you will, it's ever made public. From children's ministry, youth ministry, music ministry, worship experiences, media ministry, whatever it may be. It's not like we all just get up and do our part. There's a lot of work and a lot of effort, and quite frankly, sometimes there's frustration that accompanies that because we put a lot of time and effort into something and it doesn't turn out as we had hoped. Right. And that's working in the church. That's just in general. But there are other times when there's such a reward and such a benefit because of the work that's been put in. And I think, like any of us, the expectation with the staff is that if we put the time and effort into it and do it the right way and give it our all, and it succeeds, we celebrate. If it doesn't, then we understand that maybe that wasn't the time to do it, or maybe it just wasn't a ministry that we need to participate in. But I'm grateful and appreciative of the amount of effort that's put into a lot of what we do and the work ethic collectively among the staff on a daily basis. And a lot of that's not sexy, and a lot of people don't ever see that, but it enables us to do a lot of what we do that is visible. Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I thought about was that we'd been very intentional as we kind of came into the fall with our Connect Fair and trying to get people plugged into like small groups and starting some new small groups. And Reverend Maynard has worked with people that filled out their information and were interested in learning about that. And so we launched new small groups this fall, which if you're not a part of those, you don't necessarily know that that's going on behind the scenes. But that's something that's really neat, and that a number of those groups have people in them that are not members of the church yet, or are becoming members of the church through this ministry, that's something that's really neat, and continuing to brainstorm and expand what we can do with small group ministry, I think is something that people haven't necessarily seen. That's a really neat thing.
Two things came to mind. Let's see if I can remember both of them.
Well, we're not going to remember after you say it. So
Fine. Feel free to go to the bathroom now or whatever. But one is, and you mentioned this, alluded to it. The bringing in new staff has been a blessing. And having been on the staff for a long time, I found myself falling back into but we've always done it this way. And it's the first time in my ministry I've really ever experienced that, which means that I'm getting older. and I know. And so, the things that some of our new staff have brought to the table that, I thought, well, we did that once in 2007. And, and then it works. And, the time has shifted to where something that we've tried before that didn't work, we try it again, and it does work. And, just really thinking that through has been, a real blessing that a lot of people wouldn't necessarily think about, because we always notice what's the difference. Well, we haven't done it that way. Whether it's be in worship or having the Wednesday night dinner or whatever. But I've been really proud of our staff. The other thing that a lot of people don't know, because it's just really started, is really doing a membership audit. You'd mentioned in a sermon about knowing who we are, and we've got a lot of people on the rolls, and as long as they want to be a member of this church, then great, we're happy for that. But there's a lot of people who have left and never transferred their membership or whatever, and so I think being intentional about finding out who we are is something that we'll be working.
That's a good point.
Working hard on in 2023.
And another thing, as y'all are talking about like new staff and everything, the team building as well that goes along behind the scenes, as far as conversations amongst staff and key leaders in the church and ministry leaders, just a lot of those team building and conversations as changes are made, and we find ourselves saying we've never done it that way before, but that kind of thing is always something that is going on. We're always very intentional about what we do and why we do it.
And I'm looking forward to, and I know that this is going to be put up after the fact, but that we're hosting the new bishop's installation, and that will be here in late January, and I'm excited about getting to know her and hosting that, and then she'll be preaching here, and I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, I think it's great to be able to do that. So, in the spirit of looking forward to January, what are y'all looking forward to for 2023?
More momentum. I mean, I think we've generated a lot of momentum. We need to carry that in the new year and every way we can, and just build on what we've accomplished. There was a lot of change in 2022 when you have or inherit a staff made up of a number of older people who were willing to stay through the pandemic, but then felt the need to retire, and actually in several instances were wanting to retire before that, but helped us out through that process. Anytime you do that, you have a lot of transition, a lot of change, and I think we should have a lot more stability in 2023 regarding staff. I mean, there's always a possibility, but generally speaking, I think we're going to have a lot more stability, and we just build on that momentum, and we continue to be good stewards of what it is we're responsible for. I look forward to a really good year for us.
I'm really excited to continue to figure out how we utilize our app and our technology and our media for discipleship and for engaging and reaching new people, what that looks like, and how we can also continue to disciple our Connect Campus members, those people that are members of our church but that can't be here for whatever reason, physically in person. How does discipleship, what does discipleship look like? And how are we continuing to really disciple? And that's something I'm excited to explore more going forward.
Yeah, I mentioned the ministry or the membership audit. That's a big piece. But also, Emily's working on a kindness committee that people can be a part of. There are other places that we're looking at people plugging in to the life of the church, and I think that's going to be where we really see some people step up. Within our committees, I feel we have a lot of solid committee people that and of course that's so Methodist,
right,
to have these committees, but I mean really they take their job seriously. Our CLC has done a great job this year, rebounding from the pandemic. So I mean, there's just lots of little pieces that I know that our new receptionist, the person that is going to be walking into Pat's shoes, when she retires after the first of the year, Daniel Curry will be an associate with the Caring Ministries, because he saw that position as being caring for our congregation. And so I'm excited about that. And he'll be looking for ways for people to volunteer up there so he can work with them. And I mean, I just think that we have a lot of things to look forward to.
We do. And I appreciate what Kathleen said, because I think one of the things we all realize is that our church, as in our membership, is not just our membership with regard to who's here on Sunday morning. It's all over the country in many instances. And not only is it made up of our members, it's also made up of people who are not members, but feel a real sense of connection. How do we maintain that? How do we build on that? How do we continue to grow that? It's a reality for all of us from now on that the church is much greater than just those who come on Sunday morning. It's a different kind of way of doing ministry, and we are, I think, adapting accordingly, but there's just a lot of work that goes into that because it's uncharted territory. So,
yeah, I'm excited to see how we just continue to live into, kind of who we are. We've been doing some branding work.
Right.
And just continuing to, make changes, as we renamed worship services and we've, given opportunities, to connect more. But as we continue to unleash this brand and continue to live into, who we are as a church and continue to be a leader, in Methodism and in our community. And I'm just excited to see how that grows.
And I think one of the things we, sometimes we have people get frustrated with all the changes. I think people need to be reminded that we're not making changes for the sake of change.
Right.
We're making changes because we don't have any choice. It's the world in which we live today, post-pandemic world. Just the expectations of what the church is supposed to provide and how they go about doing it. We're not making changes just because we have nothing else to do. We're trying to make changes to be relevant, to share the good news of Jesus Christ in as many ways as we can. And some of those are brand new ways. And we all just have to adjust accordingly. Sometimes it takes me a while to recognize the need to be able to do that and what that looks like. But we all have to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on
That's it?
That's it. Do you have anything else you want to say?
We're done.
Tell someone about Pulaski
There you go. Amen.
Church.
Thank you for joining us at the Roundtable. This is our last Roundtable of the year, and we hope that you and your family have a wonderful Christmas season and a Happy New Year. Thank you for joining us.